Liza and Guy had been responsible for their own transportation needs. They would catch the bus, ride their bikes, or, worst case, walk. Now the vehicle was a rusted-out hulk, with only a corner of the back bumper still visible through pieces of the splintered garage door. Looking at the wreckage, Liza wondered if her life would have been different had the car kept running. After all, that was about the same time her mother had turned into a recluse and stopped leaving the house. The only outbuilding that seemed to be in any kind of reasonable repair was the outhouse. The well-trod footpath to it led through an otherwise impenetrable jungle of weeds and brambles. Liza had hated the outhouse growing up. The smell had been vile. The spiders that lurked in the corners and would swing down on cobwebs in front of her eyes had terrified her. The presence of the path told her that the anachronistic outhouse, probably one of the last ones in the county, was still in daily use. That made sense. The social worker had told her that Selma's electricity had been turned off months ago due to lack of payment. Without electricity to run the pump at the well, the house would no longer have any indoor plumbing either. Liza's father had left when she was a baby. She didn't remember ever having met him, but she had heard stories about how, decades earlier, he and his father, working together, had remodeled the place for his widowed grandmother, bringing the miracle of running water and indoor toilets into the house. Legend had it Great-Grandma Machett had stubbornly insisted on using the outhouse, and on keeping the hand pump at the kitchen sink that drew water from a cistern near the house. If that hand pump was, through some miracle, still in operation, it was probably the only running water Liza's mother had. Stubborn old bat, Liza muttered under her breath. She had never admitted to the kids at school that they used an outhouse at home. Guy hadn't told anyone about that either. Once Great-Grandma Machett passed on, they had moved into her place, and after Liza's father left, the only bathroom in the house had become Selma's private domain. No one else was allowed to use it, because, she had insisted, running all that water through the faucets and down the toilet was a waste of electricity and a waste of money. "We're too poor to send money down the drain like that," her mother had insisted. "I'm not going to waste a pittance your no-good father left me on that." That meant that the whole time Liza and Guy were in grade school, they had been forced to do their sponge bath bathing at the kitchen sink. That was where they had hand-washed their clothing as well. All that had been doable until the hot water heater had given out, sometime during Liza's last year of elementary school. After that, it had been cold water only, because heating water on top of the stove for baths or for washing clothes had been deemed another extravagant waste of electricity and money. Liza remembered all too well the jeering boys on the grade school playground who had bullied her, calling her stinky and dirty. The stigma stayed with her. It was why, even now, she showered twice a day, every day, once in the morning when she first got up, and again in the evening after she got home from work. Gathering herself, Liza turned to face the back door of the house she hadn't stepped inside for more than a decade. Even though the place where she lived now was, as the crow flies, less than 5 miles away. Looking up, she noticed that, in places, the moss-covered roof was completely devoid of shingles. Just last year, Olivia Dexter, her landlady in town, had replaced the roof over Liza's upstairs apartment in Great Barrington. That roof hadn't been nearly as bad as this one was, but Liza had seen firsthand the damage a leaky roof could do to ceilings and walls and insulation. How, she wondered, had her mother made it through the harsh New England winter weather with no electricity and barely